Hello everyone, I've just been back to that antiquarian bookshop in the town centre in Plymouth and went with the express aim of purchasing this set of books that I noticed quite a long time ago in there. I first went in this bookshop back in September last year, September 2016, and I saw this on the shelves straight away. And what it is, it's a set of three books. I already own two of them. I purchased them in hardback way back in 1990, and I never completed the set. I never got the third book in the series. This is a softback collection in a kind of cardboard box of all the three books together, and I was in kind of two minds about whether to buy them or not, because I would be duplicating a book that I already own. So I kind of held off buying them, and the number of people that in Plymouth who I know, who I have told about this set of books and that they were available in this bookshop, and every time I go back I take a look and they haven't been sold and they haven't been sold, and I just thought it today, sod it, I'm going to go and get them myself, because they are such a superb series of books. So I bought these originally, as I say, in 1990. I think this particular version is a 2004 edition, but I don't think they're published any longer. And I purchased them from a hobby shop in town, not from a bookshop. Back in those days, the hobby shop used to sell painting guides, things like the Osprey sets of books and so on. And I was buying up all the Osprey books on the American Civil War that I could find. But these three books, I'll show you, I think are far better as reference material and source material than the Osprey range are. There are three books, as I say, in the series. I have two of them. The first one is called The Fighting Men of the Civil War. The second one is called The Commanders of the Civil War. And the third one, which I didn't have, and I'm very pleased, I've just had a quick look through it, I'm very pleased to have got hold of this, it's called The Battlefields of the Civil War. They're by an author called William C. Davis. They're American in origin. The price on them is in dollars. Now, I have seen my hardback books, I have seen going on eBay for about anywhere between £80 and £100. This entire set of three books I bought for £30 in softback, so £10 each, and I think that's an absolute bargain. Let me show you the kind of thing, just open it at any page. What it has is lots of pictures of artefacts from the Civil War. So I've literally opened this up at random, and it's showing you a double page picture of Union camp artifacts. So you have things like the Sibley stove that fitted into one of those Sibley tents, those kind of pyramidal shaped tents. You've got little portable chess boards, that kind of thing, all sorts of things. But it also has masses and masses of pages on the weaponry of the period, the uniforms of the period, the clothing. They're not reproduction, these are all from collections and so on. Obviously lots of photographs and so on from the time as well. But here you got some Confederate infantry equipment. So you get a really good idea from this of the appropriate colours for painting and so on. All kinds of things in it. Confederate unit flags there. It is really handy. Let me find some of the more modern illustrations in here, such as this. It's full of illustrations such as that as well, giving you a really good idea on how to paint uniforms and so on. I know in the ACW period it's blue and grey with light blue trousers and so on, but it does have a lot of the more esoteric type of uniforms, the zouave uniforms, burdens, sharpshooters, all that kind of thing. So not just the regular kind of uniform colourings, and masses of drawings of artillery pieces. There's a zouave. There's one of Wheat's tigers. The number of these illustrations that are in these books, when you top them all up, it's far more than you would get in one of the Osprey books as well. So you're really getting value for money with this book, I think. Confederate musicians' equipment. See, a lot of people say, what colour were the drums? This kind of thing. You just got to open the book and you find out straight away. Confederate camp. Oh, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, things like this, like this is an internal kind of diagrams of the USS Monitor. Sailors' uniforms. This one here is the layout of the commerce raider, the Alabama. This was sunk eventually off of the coast of Brittany in France. But if you want to model sort of maritime history or anything like that, you've got sort of guide on how to model the ships and so on. It's just full. That's just the one book. But what I was particularly show you as an example. A few months ago, I was listening to Matt and Bob on Rocky's War Rooms channel on a Paint and Chat, and they were talking about the Spencer carbine, the Union cavalry carbine, and they were a little bit vague on what it looked like and how it operated. And here's the page with a Spencer carbine on, and you can see from that immediately it's a really kind of bizarre arrangement. So this is what the book is useful for. It's answering people's questions like that. You actually loaded, I think it was 7 bullets altogether. This is a cartridge box here, and you had a tube of bullets that went into a sort of spring-fed mechanism that came out of the rifle butt itself. So you would then push those into the rifle, and this mechanism here, sort of trigger guard mechanism, would feed the bullets one by one into the firing compartment here, which is why you didn't need to reload the rifle. So more modern rifles, you tend to sort of feed a magazine in underneath here. This is one of the very earliest repeating rifles, and there it is. There's a picture of it with exactly showing you exactly how it worked, the kind of areas that you would need to paint in metal colours, the areas that you need to paint in wood colours, and away you go. This book, The Commanders of the Civil War, is very similar. The diagrams or the illustrations really tend to concentrate more on the officers and so on. So there's a midshipman and a West Point cadet. So it's more the kind of officer class and their schooling and training. Lots of the artifacts, the swords and so on that they would have carried. But again, a really useful painting guide. And lots of colour illustrations. Captain Rutledge's 1st Tennessee Light Artillery. Really packed full of information and so on. And the one that I didn't have, I just had a very quick look through, the battlefields of the Civil War. Loads and loads of highly detailed maps on a number of various battles. This one's the Vicksburg campaign in Mississippi. Similar thing though, you get lots of really nice illustrations. again, another collection of excavated Confederate artifacts. These are so not that have been left in people's possession since the war. They're actually left lying around on battlefields and excavated by archaeologists and so on, but it still gives you an idea of what they look like. Oh, I noticed this one earlier. This is interesting. This is a Confederate first lieutenant of the 5th Georgia Infantry, who were known as the Clinch's Rifles. I thought when I first saw this it was Burden's Rifles because he's wearing this green outfit, but it just gives you an example of the fact that a lot of the Confederate side as well did have fairly exotic colours. So you can, if you want to, you can kind of escape that kind of butternut and grey kind of syndrome and mix it up a little bit. Yeah, but I haven't had much chance to look at this. Flags of the Confederacy. Enlisted men of the 4th Texas Volunteer Infantry. Loads of material there to get your teeth into. So there you go. I was very restrained, I think, in not purchasing that as soon as I saw it. I've given my fellow Plymothians fair chance to get their hands on it, and they've all missed out on the opportunity, and it's now going to join my library, and I'm delighted to have it. Yeah, just very quickly as well, I bought a couple of other things while I was in there. In the kind of history section, they've got tons of these Oxford histories of England on their shelves. I'm keeping my eye out for the Anglo-Saxon period one, which isn't there at the moment. I got a Roman, Roman one the last time I was in there, and I thought today I would get A.J.P. Taylor's history from 1914 to 1945. Basically, in this series, a particular historian would write their history of the period that they specialised in, and then the whole thing was compiled into this Oxford History of England. So this was first written about 1960s. A.J.P. Taylor, probably the foremost historian of his day, and the only person really they could have chosen to write up that particular period. I'm a big fan of A.J.P. Taylor. Anyway, I got that. I thought I'd buy one each time I went in there, just so I can slowly build up my collection. And as I was leaving, the shop owner asked me if I was interested in any of the books that he'd just got in. He hadn't even catalogued them, and I noticed this one, absolutely pristine condition. I think it must have been remaindered because it's in such good condition, and also the sleeve. When you go to open the book, the sleeve has been put on incorrectly because the text is all that way round. So I don't think anyone's ever even opened this book and perused it. So let's put it on the right way now. And yeah, it was an impulse buy, but it looks quite interesting. Obviously didn't sell very well, otherwise it wouldn't have been remaindered. So what was the initial sale price was £18.95, and I got it for 12 quid, and it was published in 2015, so it's a couple of years old now. But what interested me in particular, I do have a kind of fascination with the Celts, and this guy, or was it a woman? Jean, I took that to be Jean Manco, but I suppose there's no reason why it couldn't be Jean Manco. It doesn't reference him or her, so I don't know. Indeterminate gender. But anyway, they have a particular interest in DNA and genealogy, and so I thought it was a new take on Celtic history. So I thought I'd buy it, and several years ago I did have a DNA test because I'm interested in genealogy and my family history and so on, and they did infer that that I had quite a unique haplogroup, which they could on my Y DNA this is, which they could actually pinpoint down to a very small group of early Brythonic speakers. So they would have been Celts, probably in northern Wales. So the fact that this book does deal with DNA and genealogy a lot as well, just kind of tipped me over the edge, and thought, yeah, I'd get it. There we go. There's a DNA chart there showing haplogroups common in Europe which descend from the ancient CT. So I'll go back and have a look at my DNA results, and I might be able to find myself on that group there. Yeah, so worth getting. And that's it, really. The main point was to show you those American Civil War books, because I'm just really pleased with those. And that's it. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.